Hey guys, it's Tim the Piano Man. Today in this video I'm going to share the top 4 mistakes that musicians make when playing during meal times at senior homes. But before I share these secrets, be sure to like and subscribe and you can get more content just like this. The number 1 secret on the list is that musicians have the wrong approach during meal times. And I'll share what the right approach is. First I'll talk about the wrong approach. The wrong approach is going out there, setting up your gear, looking around, and then thinking or saying out loud, because I've heard it said out loud, thinking or saying, let's wake these old people up. Sometimes that's appropriate during happy hour, during a morning show at 10 or 10:30, and if your happy hour is 2 p.m. or 3:30 p.m., and they're not eating a meal, that's appropriate. But guess what? During lunchtime and dinner time, that is the wrong approach. That'll get you booed. I have seen musicians get booed out of the lunchroom because they had the wrong approach. You're not the spotlight in these particular gigs. I know that it's hard sometimes because you're an entertainer, and I get it. I'm an entertainer too. But when you're playing during meal times at senior homes, you're not in the spotlight. At least at first, and I'll share a little bit more about that in subsequent mistakes that I'm going to share. But before I do that, the right approach, you guys, the right approach is to be background music. You start as background music. You start super low. You're humble. You just want to blend in. You don't make a big announcement but if you're announced, that's okay too. Somebody else announces you. But you're just this humble servant there to elevate the dining experience. You start low, and then you elevate it, you lift it up bit by bit. The second mistake that musicians make while playing during meal times at senior homes is they play the wrong kind of music. By this I mean, it's kind of stylistically, it relates a little bit to being in the spotlight. So I'm a piano player. I'll share an example. I'm a piano player, and I play all kinds of music. I play jazz, ragtime, blues, boogie-woogie, country, gospel, hits from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. That's my pitch. A lot of the times I get asked to play flashy stuff like Jerry Lee Lewis, ragtime, rock and roll, rockabilly. I don't play these kinds of music during mealtime. At the beginning, that's the key. At the beginning, I don't play these kinds of songs. I play super soft songs. I opt for jazz. I opt for classical music. I opt for pop tunes or ballads, especially ballads, because I want to create an atmosphere at first, in the first 20 or 30 minutes. The reason that I do this is because seniors want a couple things. When they're eating, they want to have a conversation with the person sitting next to them, and they want to be able to hear the person sitting next to them. And they want to enjoy their meal peacefully. If there's loud rock and roll, loud music of any kind, that can upset their eating experience. So if you're playing during lunch or dinner, keep that in mind. And that is a good segue into the third mistake that musicians make at retirement communities when they're playing during meal times. That third mistake is playing too loud. If you're playing too loud, you're going to upset them. You're going to upset the seniors. You don't want to do that. That's one of the number 1 reasons that I have seen musicians getting booed and heard of musicians getting booed, because they're playing during a mealtime and they're playing too loud. The volume really is an issue. If you're a guitar player and you need to get a certain volume to get that tone, I'm sorry, you got to switch to acoustic or turn down. That is the reality, because the volume itself really affects your reception at these particular gigs. Okay, but when do you turn up? You might be asking, Tim the Piano Man, when do you turn up? And based on my 10 years experience at the time of this video, actually it's 15 years experience playing at retirement communities, I'll share what I've learned. It is the creme de la creme. It's the perfect time to turn up. Okay, picture this. You sit down, if you're a piano player, you sit down, you start playing. You're listening to all the tips that I've given. So I shared the mistakes, but I want to share the positive side of it too. So if you avoid these mistakes, then you'll do these positive things. You sit down, you're humble, you start quiet, you play nice relaxing music that's good for digestion, nothing too flashy, and nothing too loud. You have the right approach, you're not in the spotlight, you're being humble. When I do this consistently, I avoid one thing. One thing I don't want is for them to say, could you turn down? That is a death punch. You don't want them to say, can you turn down, please? You want them to ask for more of you. You want them to say, hey, can we get some more of you? Can you turn it up? This is not to be manipulative. This is to respect the environment that you're playing in. Got it? So, here's what I do. I start soft, and I don't care if people aren't clapping. Do you know why? And I'll share. I'll share why I don't care. Because a lot of the time, they're already having conversations, and they don't necessarily notice you. Have you ever been watching a great movie, and you're a musician, but you're engrossed in the plot? You're engrossed in the action or the plot, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, there's some music playing. Hey, that music's pretty cool. That's what I'm going for. I want to be the background music to the plays that are happening, to the movie of their lives at the beginning of their meal. Another reason that they might not applaud is because they've got silverware in their hands. They're trying to cut their country fried steak or whatever they're eating. So they can't actually applaud. Seniors, and especially seniors at assisted living or skilled nursing, it's a little more difficult for them physically to actually eat. So I don't expect them to applaud. Why would I? Another reason why they might not applaud is because sometimes seniors, just in general, they might have arthritis. They might not be able to physically applaud. But here's the thing, and I hope that if you watched up to this point, I hope that this is a big payoff for you. Seniors will start applauding after they finish their meal, and they can focus. They're not focused on their conversations, they're not focused on their meal, so they can focus on you. That is when it's your time to shine. You play a little bit more flashier stuff after they applaud for you. Now, this might happen a little bit earlier on, but I invite you to resist the temptation to start playing really flashily unless it's like an overwhelming majority of the audience that's applauding for you. If it's just a couple people are applauding, give it some more time. A good benchmark, if you don't know, is halfway through the performance, about 30 minutes in most cases. Once they start applauding, though, that's your cue. The first 3 mistakes are not necessarily mistakes of doing something wrong, it's just doing something at the wrong time. So, once they start applauding, then you're in the spotlight. Then you can change the style of the music that you're playing. Then you can turn it up a little. Then it's about you putting on a performance and being their entertainment after dinner, after their meal. But if you try to do any of these things when they're having their meal, when they're eating, when they're having their conversations at the beginning, then you risk getting booed, and you risk getting asked to not come back to that community. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I enjoyed putting it together, and I enjoyed sharing these tips that I've learned. If you're interested in learning more about how to book gigs at senior communities, check out my blueprint. The link is in the description, and the link is in the bio if you're watching this somewhere other than YouTube. It's called the Piano Profits Blueprint. I give away all of my secrets for free. There's no charge. I just want to help musicians to get gigs at retirement communities so that we can get higher quality entertainment and so that you can get paid doing something that's emotionally rewarding and that you enjoy. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow me on all major social media platforms. Tim the Piano Man, you're awesome. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.